But how are you guys doing? How are you boys doing?
Doing all right? Since last week, we spoke about Claymore, and I was like, fuck it, I'll read Claymore. And it was really good.
You literally just finished it 2 minutes before we started recording.
Yeah. But to be fair, if you haven't read Claymore and anything about it, don't worry about it. You don't need to know anything. Manga's good until about halfway, and then it kind of just goes a bit shit.
Second half's definitely underwhelming. Yeah.
I feel like a lot of anime and manga do this, where they build up like this fucking amazing world that I think is too big of a scope, and then they're like, fuck, we need to finish this within 200 chapters. How do we do that?
Yeah. Well, I think for a lot of the times, at least with like Shonen Jump, because Claymore's from Shonen Jump, a lot of the times the authors don't really have a choice as to how long it goes for.
Right. Yeah, I feel like Shonen Jump goes through the same problem as, a lot of American TV shows where, you have some like rare, like something like Breaking Bad, for example. It's like a rarity where a show just gets better, it hits its peak, and then it stops. You know what I mean? But the problem with
Better Call Saul comes along.
Yeah, but that's more like a spin-off, right?
Yeah, I think Better Call Saul's better than Breaking Bad.
Okay. You're one of those.
I think it's really fucking
You're one of those.
I think it's really fucking good. I don't know.
I haven't seen either one, so I can't say.
Okay, yeah, go on.
But the problem with a lot of like Shonen Jump manga is that they most of the time they either go on for too short or they get dragged out. You're either like a Bleach, or you are something that gets cancelled early, like most other Shonen Jump shows.
Yeah, that's the thing is that like with Shonen Jump, they have every month they have rankings.
Right. Yeah.
And if you have even just a slight dip in popularity, then they're kind of just like, well, time to wrap it up, boyo. And the author's like, well, I just got started. It's like, doesn't matter. You got to wrap it up.
I wonder if that's what happened. But to be fair, when I was reading this, it's 150 chapters. Around like the 80th, I was like, this isn't going to end like great. Well, it ended, which is better than most.
Well, I mean, it's better than like what happened to like Yu Yu Hakusho, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where like the last arc just got completely fucking gutted.
I mean, you can tell when an author just like has to wrap things up in 5 chapters or something.
Yeah,
and you're just like...
True.
Some stuff that they've been building up for like 100 to 200 chapters just gets wrapped up in 10 chapters, and you're like, what the fuck was this?
Like, cool.
And then there's like the opposite of that with what's the mangaka for Hunter x Hunter called?
Togashi.
Yeah. Where he introduces like the Dark Continent when he can't fucking make one chapter, and he's like, "How about I just expand the world tenfold?"
I tweeted out about it the other day, but I found out the other day that in the span that it took Togashi to release volume 32 to 33, Assassination Classroom started and ended.
Oh my god! So if you don't know, Hunter x Hunter has been on hiatus, not hiatus. Basically, we get a chapter like once every 2 years.
No, it's definitely a hiatus.
Yeah. We get a chapter once every 2 years.
HXH is short for hiatus x hiatus.
What counts as a hiatus nowadays? Is it like a Hunter x Hunter hiatus or Berserk Miura hiatus? You know what I mean?
They're kind of the same thing,
aren't they? It's just like, maybe it's just a very slow release schedule. You know what I mean?
True.
But have you seen some of Hunter x Hunter's latest chapters? Have you seen some of the Dark Continent chapters?
Yeah.
I've seen like some of the later chapters, and some of them are just literally, there are pages that is just all text. There's like one character and it's literally...
I think I actually saw it on Twitter, right?
It's just a full page of text. And at this point, I'm just like, Togashi, if you want to write a light novel, just write a light novel, man.
This mangaka is just somehow like writing a book without realizing it. I don't know how you do that.
He is kind of releasing volumes on the schedule of like light novel volumes.
Exactly. It's like, why are we pretending that this is a manga anymore? You know what I mean?
And like the drawings, oh my god. Like,
yeah.
Just hire like someone on DeviantArt, man. Just do it already. Like, what's going on?
What I want to know is like, because I don't think Togashi uses assistants.
Maybe, probably not.
Probably not, because if not,
this is all assumptions.
You'd think that he'd get assistants to draw, right?
His wife?
Oh well, yeah. His wife is the author of Sailor Moon.
Shit, we just dissed on his wife. Right?
Yeah. We dissed on one of the greatest shoujo manga authors of all time.
Listen, the Hunter x Hunter, if you haven't read or seen it, just do it. It's amazing, but just be prepared for just
so here's the thing. I haven't read Hunter x Hunter at all.
Yeah.
But I have all of the volumes up until this point.
Dude, honestly, watch the anime. The anime is so fucking good.
Yeah, no, the anime is great. It's one of the few anime that I think is better than the manga.
Yeah. Really?
And that's because...
The 2011 version.
Yeah, the 2011 version. Because some of the later like arcs, especially the Chimera Ant arc, Togashi's arc is really up and down at points
Right,
because
right.
of his health complications that he was going through. But like the anime is just consistent throughout. So
Okay.
So to anyone who doesn't know, I would recommend, and God would recommend.
Because I know
Yeah.
so
watching.
much about the series, like of like characters and like
Yeah,
men and all
yeah,
that
'cause
shit.
when we-
Like,
when
I
we
know
speak
so
about it, you
many.
know, yeah.
I know
Yeah.
so many references, but I've never actually sat down and read or watched it.
oh my
But
god.
yeah, I think I know enough about Naruto to
Right.
lie my way through a conversation being like, yeah, the Leaf
Yeah, I-
Village.
I-
Crazy,
Yeah.
man.
I could
Crazy.
probably lie my way through a Full Metal Alchemist conversation. I have done many times.
Nina? Oh man, that's just so sad, bro.
I mean, let's be real. Like, I feel we've all done that, right? Where like everyone around you is talking about an anime, and you're kind of just like, yeah,
Well,
that thing.
for like 5
Yep.
years, I was an anime fan who hadn't watched Evangelion. People would be like, dude, it's epic, right? I'm like, yeah, dude, like, get in the robot. Yeah, my dad hates me. Like, yeah, dude, love that. Love the part where the mechs fight. Dude. That shit's crazy. just do that.
I admittedly did that a little bit with Bleach for a
Oh,
while.
It's when
because-
you're insecure, right?
Yeah,
you don't
yeah.
want
Yeah,
I
to
did
think
that
you're
for a
fake
while
anime
with
fan.
Bleach because I dropped it at the Aizen arc. Right.
Right,
So
right.
anything after that, I had no fucking idea. But people around me kept reading it. And they were like, yeah, the whole like Weko Mundo stuff. I was like, yeah, that thing.
Wacko Mundo?
Yeah, that thing. Totally. Yeah,
to be
Grimjo,
fair,
yeah.
Bleach is one of those anime or manga that you could feasibly lie your way out of it
Yeah.
to make it seem like you've seen it without having seen it.
Yeah.
After you've watched like the first few arcs, then you kind of just can bullshit your way through.
I too also want to see more Bankai.
I feel like it's
Yeah.
the same with One Piece, right? Because One Piece is so long. It's like The Simpsons, right? Where everything that could ever happen has probably happened. So you could be like, dude, my favorite episode is where like Homer Simpson becomes a crack addict. That's probably an episode of The Simpsons, right?
I mean,
There's
you
so
could,
many.
you could probably do that with One Piece right now. 'Cause you're the only one who hasn't seen it. So you could just randomly be like, yeah, I love that episode where Luffy and Chopper
Let me get-
make out.
I love the part where the pirates find another band of pirates that are bad initially and then turn and are part of some military, and then they're like, dude, let's just be good. Let's help Luffy out, right?
Oh yeah, the Water 7 arc.
Is that like a thing? That's probably a thing, right?
that probably happens.
Probably, yeah, probably something.
That was vague enough that
Yeah, if I keep it vague, right?
That could be about 4 different arcs in One Piece.
Yeah, because I know enough base information about One Piece. I still haven't read it yet. Again, I
Yeah,
downloaded some chapters on my phone, but maybe one day.
so you're downloading a lot of chapters now. I see.
No, I have like 10 volumes downloaded, which
Right.
is much.
How far into?
I don't fucking know.
Well, because we're approaching volume 100 of One Piece.
Yeah,
soon.
we're approaching chapter 1000, I think, aren't
Yeah.
we? Which is going to be a landmark. And
Whoa.
yeah,
Ooh.
1,000 chapters. That's
Can you imagine? Dude, fucking 1,000 every week. 1,000 chapters.
I cannot fucking imagine.
That's 1,000 weeks at least minimum.
Because
Is he married, the author?
I think so.
Well,
I think so.
it's kind of
May
interesting
then be the
'cause-
fact checker.
Yeah, it's
Is
kind
Oda
of interesting
married?
actually because Oda Eiichiro, the creator
I
of One
feel
Piece-
like you can't be married and make One Piece. Like it's pick one.
Well, it's
right?
so interesting because like I feel not a
He
whole,
is married,
He is married.
yes.
Okay, so because like not a whole lot about Oda is even known.
Yeah.
Because he
Yeah.
so rarely makes any like TV
Mm.
appearances or like interview appearances because he's too busy fucking writing a chapter a week, right?
He's not just doing that because Oda, out of every author, is way more involved in the anime production as well.
Right, you're
Because
right.
normally
He helps
with
produce, right?
Yeah, with normally a lot of anime productions, people are just like, okay, there's the author, and then the author just gets sidelined, and they just continue doing their stuff, and maybe they'll watch the anime, you know. But Oda's been involved in a lot of the anime production, which I don't. Where does he find the time to do this? I don't know. How, like. As
This
a
man
sh-
is like a time management machine.
as a
Like-
Shonen Jump author, I don't know how you can have a life. Like, most authors don't have a life outside of their magazine. I mean, most of them have health complications because of how much they work.
Not to mention that, like, I swear, with every new chapter, Oda's art is just evolving. Like, it's getting more. Like, some of the recent chapters are so fucking detailed, where it's
Yeah.
like, how do you draw this in a week?
Yeah, exactly. Like, people like to piss on One Piece character designs because, oh, it looks cartoonish, it looks
They
childish.
do look fucking weird.
They do look weird.
Yeah, but at least it's like so distinct to the point where you can look at a character and be like, oh yeah, that's a One Piece character.
yeah.
Yeah, true. But
Like-
you say
like-
about Simpsons, but you don't have any like or
yeah.
a Family Guy character.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
But I would argue that like that's better than a fucking generic ass looking character that could fit into any
Yeah.
like
I mean,
show of that
it's
caliber,
way,
right?
or any one of Oda's character designs is way more memorable than his generic isekai protagonist number
That's true.
75
That's true.
that
Yeah,
looks
yeah.
like Kirito just reskinned.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like that's my I think that's my biggest problem with a lot of light novel adaptations is that you can tell light novel adaptations nowadays by just the character designs,
How they look.
and just the art styles, right?
Yeah, because the character designs haven't changed from like 10 years ago.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's like good-looking boy with average proportions with spiky hair. Color it in. A weird
Exactly.
color. There you go.
like even a lot of like the girls as well, because I think one
His
of
pink-haired character.
yeah, like one of my favorite female characters to come out of recent times is Mai Sakurajima from Bunny Girl Senpai.
Yeah.
And like I really liked all of the cast there and all of the characters, but my god, they have such forgettable character designs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Compared to some of the character designs from say like Monogatari or something like that.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it gets compared a lot to, and I see the same charm, but in terms of the memorability of the character designs, it's just Bunny Girl Senpai just looks like the most generic.
Well, I mean, that's why they had to.
That was only one of the reasons I just didn't watch it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's,
I was
that's why
like,
they had to put her in a bunny costume, right? To like
Exactly.
differentiate between all the other characters.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because there's a lot of anime characters just like silhouette or eyes, right? You can just,
Right. And like, I would argue again, like that's I think one of the strong suits about One Piece, right? Is that like because the characters look so fucking wacky,
Yeah.
you can immediately tell that's a One Piece character.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
and it's the way I describe Oda is it's like you're reading a story from someone who has the imagination of a 10-year-old, but the writing skills of like George R. Martin or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's so weird because you see a character like this cross-dressing ballerina, for example,
Yeah.
and you're like, what is this wacky
Number
character?
three.
Yeah. Mr. Two. So
Mr.
yeah,
Two,
Mr. Two. Yeah,
sorry,
Mr.
not
Two.
Mr.
what the fuck?
Yeah.
I always get the numbers mixed
Mr.
up.
Two, Bon Clay Summer.
Yeah, Mr. Green Eggs and Ham. I love him. He's great. I love that guy.
But yeah, you see his character design for the first time, and you're just like, "This, I'm never gonna give a shit about this character." And then he ends up in later arcs bringing you to tears sometimes, and you're just like, "How did this happen? How did he make?" How did Oda make me care about this person right now that you can see on screen?
Yeah.
Anyone who hasn't watched One Piece is probably looking at this being like, what the
Who is
fuck?
this clown?
Who is this literal clown? You know what I mean?
That's your weekly jack off to One Piece segment of the podcast.
Yeah, as we're going to do every week now, for
Well,
example.
we're gonna do every week until you.
Until you start reading it.
If
and-
I read it, will this become a fucking One Piece podcast? I
no,
don't know.
no.
No, it won't. But it might become more of a manga
my
podcast
Yeah,
or an
it
anime podcast.
I mean, I'll spend like 20 hours reading a manga. My review will be like, yeah, it's all right.
So wait, so what would you give out of 10, Claymore?
6.
6?
6.
Really? I don't want to read anyone else's reviews of manga at all. I don't want to know because I feel like right now because
Alright,
I
I'm
don't
gonna head out.
because I don't touch anything with the reviews in terms of manga. I don't
Yeah.
know what the popular opinion is. I don't know if I should go into a thing thinking it's good or bad. I just see something and I'm like, I'll read that and make up my own choice. Kind of like it that I'm in my own bubble of like I don't give a
that's
shit
fair
what,
enough.
what
It's fair
anyone
enough.
else thinks.